I find it funny that when I say, oh, it's probably going to take me like a really long time to finish Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson, that I finish it. Go Brandon Sanderson for just making an awesome book. What happened was I just started reading it perusively on my Kindle, just because, you know, sometimes I don't always like listening to it. Sometimes I just want to read it. And I did that, and I just devoured the book. So, great news on that front. I don't have to like wait a million years before the next book comes out to actually start reading it. And, you know, so I can finish this one. I actually have finished this one and can actually start the next one because I finished this one. And really, this is a great book, and I just don't know how to deal with it. So anyway, where do we leave off? Where we left off in the original, I left off on page 700 and some odd. I left off here. So I left off there on with Shallan, and Shallan's being Vale. Shallan is basically the equivalent of a shapeshifter, but she's just veiling herself. I really like her character Vale because she's so adequately named it Vale, or named her Vale. She veils. It's a veil of a person, and Shallan has gotten so much better. She's figured out how to use her powers. So Shallan's she's a very fun character, and I'm so excited to read more about her in the future. Kaladin is like, he gets to the point, like, he's slowly losing his powers, losing his abilities, losing his ability to really do much of anything, to the point where at basically like very close to the end of the book, like probably, yeah, around here, he quote unquote actually kills Syl. He kills her spirit, so to speak, because he broke his oaths, his first two oaths. And then Shallan basically slowly brings him to the point where he can accept the fact that you can't always do all the things that you want to do to get justice. Like, being a social justice warrior basically is not going to pay off in the end, because the fact of the matter is, in the end, you want revenge all you want. You have all this anger and hatred, all of it. You have all the anger and hatred, and you know what's going to do? Absolutely nothing to make your life better. And I love that message. I love Kaladin's message because it just encompasses like this entire, it had such a, Words of Radiance has such a wonderful learning curve for Kaladin. Like, it's very much about Kaladin learning. It's also about Shallan, like it covers Shallan's past, which I liked, because Shallan has a very interesting and tragic past, and she's just so chip. Because because the interesting thing about her, she created these lies for herself. So she just literally lied herself out of a depression. And then it shows, and then her story basically shows how she has to face the fact that she did lie. And now, like, she did create these lies for herself. Now she has to face the fact that, yes, she did kill her mother, because her mother tried to kill her. Like, her mother tried to kill her because she was a Knights Radiant. And I could never figure out, like, reading the first book, Way of Kings, whether or not Kaladin's own father knew that Kaladin was special. And one of the reasons why he wanted Kaladin to become a surgeon is because Kaladin needed to learn how to deal with life, and how to make decisions, and how to become grounded, but also have ideals. And it's very interesting, and I enjoyed reading the contrast between Kaladin and his father, and how the both of them clashed. In any case, but yes, and I liked one of the things I liked about Shallan is that she and her father, like, her father basically pampered her, because her father knows that she killed her mother in self-defense, but he didn't want to reveal that, because who wants to reveal that you're a Knight's Radiant? That's dangerous. And so, like, you know, you have all of this stuff going on, and they don't know how to deal with it. And then you have Dalinar, who's basically, like, he's dealing with the big picture. He's trying to make sure everybody stays alive. That's Dalinar. And Dalinar, at the end, he's just like, you know what? We're going to battle. We gotta go fight these people. They have declared war on us. It's time to fight them. And, like, Sabariel, who I like Sabariel. Like, at the end of the book, I was going, Bright Lord Sabariel, yeah. Look at you, little capitalists, coming in and saving the day. And just coming in and saying, yeah, okay. Like, you know, all the little soldiers are running around, don't know what to do with that one man's army, and the capitalists comes in and just says, okay, guys, come on, calm down, form up, act like soldiers, whips them into shape, like, come on, boys. And then gets them back fighting again. And I'm just like, that Lady Sabariel, who knew exactly what he was, saved the day. I'm not entirely sure what Brandon Sanderson was going for this, but I can come to a couple of my own conclusions, but I'll let other people read this book and come to their own conclusions about that. But I have to say, it was funny. Yeah, Brandon Sanderson, like, the words of Radiance, so much fun. And at the end, basically this entire book also goes through basically how the Parshendi are the Voidbringers, and that now that the Great Storm is here, like, the big danger with the Great Storm is now the Parshendi, any Parshendi who's touched by the Great Storm is going to become a Voidbringer, except for the one in Kaladin's army, because Kaladin was like, no, you're not going to be a Voidbringer. And the guy was also like, I'm not going to be a Voidbringer. And because I suspect because Kaladin is a Knight's Radiant and he has claimed these men, Kaladin is also protecting them. And there was a small itty bit of tidbit in their lore at the end about that, like, covering that, because they were starting to glow. His own men were starting to glow, the men he claimed. So that was interesting. And then you have Dalinar, who's basically claimed the entirety of Alethkar. Like, he claims them. They're his people, and they're his soldiers, and they're under his protection at some point, and they just have to accept it. And I feel like the moment they accept it, they'll be under Dalinar's protection. Dalinar is oh man, what is it? He's a bondsmith. Dalinar is that, and he bonded with the Stormfather, like the big spren in this book that, like, Kaladin and Shallan are both, like, fighting. Well, not really Shallan. I think Shallan already has accepted that at some point she might end up killing Pattern. And Pattern has accepted it, and he's let her know it's okay, because Pattern is a very rational spren. Like, you have Sylphrena, who's not quite rational, because she's an honor spren, also kind of like a wind spren too. Honor spren and wind spren are apparently very interesting little cousins. And Pattern isn't quite, but Pattern, I can't remember what they called Pattern, honestly. I don't quite remember what they called Pattern, but Pattern is interesting. Pattern's a lot of fun. I enjoy Pattern. I think they might have called him a lie spren, because he likes lies. But I don't know. That was a tidbit. Like, Shallan isn't sure, and honestly, Pattern's not sure what he is either. Yasna had her own conclusions to make, and she didn't even know. Speaking of which, Yasna Kholin, at the end of the book, like about halfway, this far through the book, I think, we find out that Yasna gets stabbed to the heart, or so we think. Shallan's not entirely sure, because it's just, everything happened too fast for her to really know. But Yasna, was not dead. Yasna was in Shadesmar, and then she comes back from Shadesmar with a shard blade. I do not, from what I've gleaned, she did not have a shard blade until now. And I suspect Shallan has been a Knights Radiant for far longer than Yasna ever has been. Yasna and Kaladin. I think Shallan was the first Knights Radiant out of the 3 of them. 4 of them. 5 of them. There's technically 5. Out of the characters we really care about, there's 5. And it's very interesting. It's all starting to come together, and I'm really excited about reading about how all this is going to come together, and I can't wait to get to book 3 and basically do what I'm doing with book 3. And I might start doing it in more stages, like I finish, like, because these books are divided up into books. I might do it in stages where I review the books, review the intermissions, and kind of do that, because I mean, these are big, long books. Long books. There's a lot to cover. But I also might not do that, because I will also be listening to them on audiobook while I'm at work at sometimes, and so it's going to be interesting. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Anyway, so I give, as a whole, Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson 5 out of 5 stars, because it's just really, really awesome, and like just the detail, the lore, the philosophy. I really do love how Brandon Sanderson tries to get into philosophy, and does a relatively good job of like putting philosophy in there, but not making it an entirely philosophically rich book, even though it still kind of is. It's very interesting. He's actually a clever writer, and so like reading a clever writer helps like the book not suck. So yeah, no, really exciting. It's really exciting because I want to read the Wheel of Time series at some point, and I'm really happy that I got to read Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson, probably arguably Brandon Sanderson's best works and the work he cares about, because I started reading the other one, Mistborn, and I wasn't quite as impressed with Mistborn as I am with the Stormlight Chronicles. The Stormlight Chronicles is a lot better than that. Anyway, so stay tuned for the next YouTube video, whenever the heck I actually post it, of whatever book I actually decide to finish. Have a wonderful day.